Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have a super fun Easter tier tray DIY using supplies from the Dollar Tree. So my plan with this tier tray was whimsical, fun chicks and eggs for Easter. So let's get started decorating my 3-tiered tray. Now, this was my inspiration piece for the whole thing. This is a yardstick from the Dollar Tree, and it's a very rustic, weathered little chick. All I'm going to do is pop the yardstick off the back. Super easy. And I'm going to go ahead and peel the tag off. I was thinking I should have got 2 of these. I could have put them back to back, but where this tier tray is going, you're only going to be able to see the front, so I think it's going to be okay. Sometimes I like to do a large piece like this for the top of my tier tray. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun to kind of take that little burlap bow that was on the post. And that's going to be the perfect thing to cover up the little hole on the top here. So I'm just going to attach that with a little bit of hot glue. And I think this little chick is ready to go. I love the weathered appearance. It goes really well with my coastal farmhouse decor in my house. And the only thing I want to do is make it where I can attach it to the pole on the top of my tier tray. So I'm just going to cut off a piece of twine. And then I'm just going to attach that to the back of our little chick with some hot glue. Now, my first tier tray I did a couple of days ago was really pretty. I did the carrots and the bunnies and the greenery. Now, the theme for this one is just very whimsical and fun. So, let's go ahead and attach this to our top of our tier tray. I'm just going to use that twine to tie it around that pole right there. And that is a great first piece to get us started on this tier tray. Okay, up next, I want to fill in all of our trays with some filler. And I thought this Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. And I also want to fill it in with eggs. So I got these little string wrapped egg picks at the Dollar Tree. I got them in every color, purple, pink, blue, and green. And they're these great pastel colors, and they're really rustic looking. I think they're going to be perfect. No glitter, no sparkles. I love them. So when you're pulling them off the little picks, be really careful because the glue they used on the bottom of these is really gooey and it likes to stick on the first string. And a couple of the string came loose a little bit, which I just had to glue back down with a little bit of hot glue. If you took your time though and kind of twisted it and saw where the glue was, you could kind of prevent that. So I'm trying my best to not do that, but it did happen on a couple of my eggs. And I don't know what kind of glue they used on them, but it was really gooey. I kind of wish they hadn't put any picks on them in the first place, but that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use all of these eggs for filler. So I'm going to use the Spanish moss to kind of make a nest on each one of my tiers. And then I'm going to fill it in with these little string eggs. So I use one package on the first and the second tier. It's almost impossible to get this stuff out without making a mess. So be prepared. So I use a little bit to fill in this first tier where it's nice and small. I use the rest of that package to do the second one. But first I'm just going to toss in a couple of those little string eggs. And this is our second tier. And I thought this gave me a nice nest appearance, and it's going to fill up a lot of the dead space. I don't have quite as many items on this tier tray that it did on my last one, so I want it to look as full as possible. So just kind of assortment of those little string eggs all around, and then I'm going to use a whole package of the Spanish moss here on the bottom on this nice big tier tray. And again, just making a little nest, just spreading it out the best that I can. And then I'm just going to toss in all the rest of those eggs. And that's going to give me a nice place to start with because I want to do like all chicks and eggs for this tier tray. And here's our first little chick. I got this little stuffed animal at the Dollar Tree. It's the one that's laying down. And I thought that was really cute. They also have one that's sitting up that has like a little egg on its chest. So I'm just going to remove all of the tags. And it's kind of got like a cheap little yellow ribbon on the neck that I'm not a big fan of. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off and replace that with maybe a little bit better. I'm going to use some of this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut off a piece of that and tie a little simple bow and then glue that back on our little chick just to give a little detail, make it look a little bit better. This is a pretty large little chick, so I'm going to use this one down on my big bottom tier tray and kind of see if I can bury it down in the nesting a little bit. So just gluing that on and trimming the edges, and there we are, ready to go. He's so cute. So I'm going to put him down here on the right side. Again, just kind of burying his back end a little bit in the nesting. So it's not real obvious that he's a giant stuffed animal there. But that is a fun little chick to get us started on this little chick tier tray. Isn't he cute? Okay, I wanted to do a couple more chicks. So I got a couple of these little wind-up chicks from the Dollar Tree that you wind up and they like hop across the table. And I thought these would be a great idea. I went ahead and got two. I was considering whether I should take the little legs off. You totally can if you want, but I thought that might give it a little bit more height and make it stick out above the nesting a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and leave the little winders on there. I'm just going to kind of turn it this direction when I put them on here so you can't really see it's a little wind-up toy. I want it to look just like a little chick decoration. So we're going to put one down here on the bottom. And then we're going to do the other one up here on the second tier. And these are really cute. I think they gave a nice, fun pop of yellow and a nice little cute little chick. And just turning that again so you can't really see the little wind up on there. And the next two items I got at the Target Dollar Spot in a tier tray builder kit. You got 3 for $3, and I already used one piece on my Easter coffee bar. These are the other two pieces. The little truck is a rustic truck full of eggs. It's absolutely perfect. And then the egg is a little yellow gingham egg. And the only thing I'm going to do to that is just very, very lightly weather that with some ivory paint and wipe off the excess with a baby wipe just to give it a little bit of a weathered appearance to kind of go with everything that I have so far. So gonna dry that real quick and we can pop both of these little tier tray starter pack items on our tier tray. So I'm gonna do the egg, I think, here on the second tier. And then I'm gonna do the little truck full of eggs down here on the bottom, kind of in the front. And I'm really trying to go with all those pastel Easter colors. And I think that's going to be really cute. Okay, up next is a little sign I want to make using one of these little egg signs from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a package. I'm just going to use one. And they have these in all different colors. I got the blue ones. And then I want to make a little chick sign. So I thought it would be really cute to do a little wooden chick on the front of our egg. So that is one of those 8 packs from the Dollar Tree as well. And that's going to fit on our little egg nicely to make a cute little sign for our tier tray. For the little chick, I want to go ahead and try at least to fill in the little hole on the top just because I already have a hole in the egg as well and it's going to be kind of hard to cover up both of those. So it didn't turn out perfect, but good enough. And then I love the color of this little blue egg, but again, I want to weather it just very lightly using a chunky brush from the Dollar Tree and just a little bit of ivory acrylic paint, wiping off any excess. And it's going to give me that nice farmhouse feel to that sign. Now I'm trying to get the little spackle dried on our little chick, and then I'm going to sand off the excess, and we're going to go in and paint this bright yellow color. I got this at Target, and this is Sun Bright Yellow. And I'm just going to use a little makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree and very carefully just paint that all over in yellow. I'm just going to do it all one color. I want it to look very abstract. And that's going to give us another punch of yellow for this tier tray. So all I'm going to do is dry that little chick and then weather it as well with a little bit of that ivory paint. And then all I got to do is put the two pieces together and make our little sign for the tier tray. So I'm just going to attach the chick to the front with just a little bit of hot glue. And then I do want to cover that little hole like on the top of the egg. And so to do that, I'm just going to do like a very simple bow. I'm just going to cut off a piece of twine and just tie a little bow and glue that over the hole, and that will take care of that. I hate it when people leave like the holes exposed. It just bothers me. So I'm just trying to give it a finishing touch. And then I also want this little sign to stand up on its own. And so to do that, I just went and grabbed a couple of those little Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use two. I'm going to attach them together with a little hot glue. And then I'm just going to hot glue that on to the back of our sign so that it will stand up on its own. And this is a nice height little sign. I think it's going to be perfect down on one of my lower tiers here. I think I'm actually going to do it on the middle tier. So I'm going to put it kind of like over here where I have this one already. So I'm going to move this one over on this side. When you're making a tier tray, it's all about like rearranging and getting things exactly the way that you want them. And I think that looks really cute. And it gives me a nice little chick for the side of my tier tray. Okay, up next, I want to do a little flower arrangement. So to start with, I'm going to use a little tin bucket from the Dollar Tree. This one is in a really beautiful pastel color of blue. And I want to fill it with some daffodils. So I'm going to go in and do the same thing I did on the others. I'm going to use just a little bit of ivory paint and that chunky brush, and I'm just going to very lightly distress it just because it was very solid and trying to make it look kind of weathered like everything else that we've been using. So just kind of going all over, working in one direction and lightly distressing that. And then for the front of the bucket, I thought it would be cute to decorate it with a little chick. So I'm going to use one of these little wooden chicks from the Dollar Tree. But first, I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint this in that same yellow color with a makeup sponge, which these work wonderful for this. And just lightly sponge the top. And we are ready to decorate the front of our little tin bucket. I am just going to glue that on with a little bit of hot glue. It's not a sticker. It's just like a little wood piece. So I thought like maybe like right here in the center, just a little dot of hot glue. And we're going to have a little Easter bucket to fill with flowers. So I'm going to use one of those little round floral foam pieces from the Dollar Tree. Those things work perfectly in these little buckets from the Dollar Tree. And it's actually one I've used before, but that's okay. I'm just going to push it down in there, and we can start arranging our daffodils. I thought daffodils would be perfect because they really look like spring and they're bright yellow, just like the little Easter chicks. So I kind of wanted to save my greenery, so I kind of pushed it all to the top before I started cutting off the individual flowers and arranging those in our arrangement. I'm just using my little floral scissors there from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to go ahead and use the whole bunch. I love to leave the greenery on these, but once I get them all in here, I decide that greenery is a little too long. I thought about trimming it, but I didn't know if I could really make it look right. So once I have it all together, I do take the ones off that did have leaves and just take that off because, again, I just think they were a little bit too long. And I'm trying to fill the bucket as full as I can so that you won't be able to see that foam below. And I won't have to use anything to cover that up. Just a cute little daffodil arrangement for the bottom of our tier tray. I think that's the only place that this one is going to fit because of its height. And here's our little chick bucket of daffodils. So I'm going to put this one kind of back here on the left side, arranging that down in my nesting material. And I really like the blue and the yellow together. It's a nice contrast. And we are ready to go. I wanted to make a little egg chick. So I'm going to use one of these little chunky wood signs from the Dollar Tree. That's an egg shape. And I thought I could try to make it look like a chick for Easter. So I'm going to use that same yellow acrylic paint. And I'm just going to paint that raw wood. One coat is plenty, and I thought it'd be really easy to make an egg look like a little chick. So I'm just going to paint all the edges until I get one good coat of yellow on there. And I do go in and distress this as well, like I did on all the others, with just a little bit of ivory. I really hope you're enjoying this Easter tier tray DIY today. If you are, please take a moment to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And leave a comment below your favorite DIY today, or just say hello. I would really appreciate it. So once I get that nice and weathered like I did everything else, I'm ready to transform this little egg into a chick. So I'm just using an orange paint pen, and I'm going to do like an upside down triangle here for the little beak for our chick. Super easy to make a little chick with just a little beak and eyes. So I kind of do just a triangle, and then I kind of arch like the top of the triangle a little bit to make it look a little bit more like a beak. And then I'm going to also use a paint pen for the eyes and just do a couple of circles for the eyes. And we're going to have our little chick face, super cute. I would also like to take the opportunity to invite you to our Facebook group. Some of my Crafty Beach Bum watchers wanted a Facebook group so they could share what they've been making as well. And we have it over on Facebook. I will post a link below, and all you have to do is come over and join us on Facebook. We would love to have you. And the final touch I thought for this little chick would be a little feather. So I have some of these feathers from the Dollar Tree, and I just found a yellow one, and I thought it'd be really cute to attach that to the top of our little chick head with just a little bit of hot glue. I was just trying to get my eyes even. I found that paint did kind of move around a little bit, kind of making one eye bigger than the other. So I'm just trying to even those up. And then I'm also going to distress over the eyes and the beak as well to kind of go with the rest of the vibe. And I'm going to kind of lean this, so I'm not going to need a stand or anything for this little chick. So I think this little egg chick is ready to go on our tier tray. I'm going to put him down here on the bottom and kind of lean him up against the pole. And he's so cute. I really love that project. Just trying to get him in there until he's kind of on the bottom and standing up there straight. And here is our next, look at this. I love these Easter wood beads from the Dollar Tree. I got 3 different kinds this year, and this is the little chick one. And it's also pastel colors. It's got a beautiful tassel on it. For $1.25, you can't beat it. And the only thing I'm going to do is do a very light distress with the ivory on our little chick, just to kind of make it go with the rest of our projects that we did today. And the yellow, the pink, and the white beads are perfect. And it's going to be a great addition to our little chick tier tray. Isn't it cute? Thank you, Dollar Tree, for doing all the work there for me. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the second tier where the little chick is kind of like hanging over to one side. And then I'm going to string it around where it hangs down into like the bottom tier. This isn't as long, I don't think, as the carrot one that I used the other day, but it's long enough to get down to the third tier for me. So that's how we're going to arrange that. Super cute, and how easy is that, right? I love it. Okay, I thought we needed a few more eggs, so I thought I would use some of these speckled eggs from the Dollar Tree. I just try to want to fill up my tier tray as much as I can. I am opening 2 packages here of the 6 packs, but I end up only needing about 1. And these are already pastel colors and speckled, and so I think these are going to be a perfect addition to our little string eggs that we've already used to fill this up. So I'm just going to kind of go around and put one here or there and just fill it up a little bit more because I don't have a lot of items for this tier tray, and it's a pretty big tier tray. Just kind of arranging those in there, and it's going to add a little bit of variety to the eggs where they're not all just the string eggs. And I think that tier is pretty full. This tier is pretty full. There was a little bit of dead space here and there on the bottom, and so just going to put a couple of eggs around there as well. And I think we pretty much have a pretty full little Easter chick and egg tier tray. The last final touch I wanted to add was some more color. So I got some of this pom-pom garland in all these different pastel colors. So what I did was I measured each tier, and then I cut off a different color for each tier. I just attach with a dot of hot glue on the back and wrap the little pom-pom garland around. We're going to do pink on the top, green on the middle, and pastel blue on the bottom. I also have this in yellow, but since I've already used so much yellow, I decided to use the pink, the blue, and the green. So again, all you got to do is measure and attach, and I love how much color and fun this added to our tier tray. Now, on this green one, when I went to attach it, I noticed it did have like a little defect in it, and it's kind of like right in the front. I noticed it after I start gluing it on, but it's no big deal. It's just one of the little pom-poms there is like longer than the others, and the band is kind of skinny and missing. Maybe where it got pulled in production or something like that. But I decided to kind of go with it and go ahead and attach it. And I can always just go back and repair that one. See what I'm talking about? It's kind of funny. So I'm going to glue that one on. To repair it, I am just going to cut off one more piece of like the pom-pom with the little ribbon attached. And then I'm just going to go trim that one off and glue that one onto the top with my hot glue. And almost good as new, right? A little problem solving there for Dollar Tree. And we're going to do the same thing down here on the bottom. This one, we're going to use this pretty blue color. And I love attaching ribbon to the outside of my tier trays, especially like the galvanized metal ones that have like the wide sides. It really adds another little aspect. I got this idea from one of my sorority sisters from college. I think I saw she always does ribbon like on the outside of her tier trays. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I love it. And this pom-pom garland is perfect. And this one was a little bigger, and I was trying not to block the camera, but we do get it wrapped around there. I was trying to get wrapped around without twisting it, keeping it all in the same direction and gluing this one on. I do notice when I use hot glue on the outside of my tier trays, sometimes it does damage it slightly, so you might want to use double stick tape. Okay, are you ready for the final reveal? Thank you for watching, everyone. Happy Easter.
Always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on